A weekend camping trip. Friday afternoon finally arrives. I finish work at 5 o'clock, shut down my computer and leave the office with a smile. I have been looking forward to this camping trip all week. The weather forecast looks good, although there is a small chance of rain on Saturday evening. I hope the weather stays nice. When I get home, I place my backpack on the floor and start packing. I carefully fold a few t-shirts, a warm sweater for the evening, extra socks, comfortable hiking shoes, and a waterproof jacket. Nights in the countryside can become much cooler than days. Next, I collect all my camping equipment from the storage room. I check my tent, sleeping bag, camping chair, flashlight, portable stove, cooking pot, lighter, first aid kit, and water bottles. I like making a checklist because I always worry about forgetting something important. Before leaving town, I stop at a supermarket. I buy sausages, bread, eggs, bacon, cheese, pasta, tomatoes, apples, bananas, marshmallows, coffee, milk, and plenty of drinking water. I also buy a bag of charcoal for the barbecue. Then I stop at a gas station to fill up my car. It is better to do it now than search for a gas station later in the countryside. The drive to the campsite takes about an hour and a half. As the city slowly disappears behind me, the roads become quieter. Tall trees replace buildings, and green hills stretch across the landscape. I lower the windows and enjoy the fresh air. Along the way, I pass small farms, peaceful villages, and fields full of yellow sunflowers. A farmer is driving a tractor across one field, while a group of cows is quietly eating grass nearby. Everything feels slower outside the city. I arrive at the campsite just before 7 o'clock in the evening. The reception building is small but welcoming. A friendly employee gives me a map of the campsite and points me toward my camping pitch. The campsite is larger than I expected. Families are setting up tents, children are riding bicycles, and several camper vans are already parked beneath the trees. Some people are preparing dinner, while others are relaxing in folding chairs with books. I drive slowly until I find my pitch. It is surrounded by tall pine trees, giving me plenty of shade during the day. As soon as I begin setting up my tent, I notice the wind becoming stronger. Every time I lift one side of the tent, another side falls down. I laugh at myself because it looks much easier in videos than in real life. After struggling for several minutes, an older camper walking past smiles and quietly hands me a rubber mallet. With the proper tool, securing the tent becomes much easier. I thank him with a smile before he continues walking back to his own campsite. Once everything is ready, I unroll my sleeping bag, inflate my camping mattress, and organize my backpack inside the tent. It already feels surprisingly comfortable. The sun is beginning to set, so I light a small barbecue. Soon, the smell of grilled sausages fills the air. I toast slices of bread over the warm coals and enjoy a simple but delicious dinner. After eating, I sit quietly beside the barbecue. The sky slowly changes from blue to orange, then pink, and finally deep purple. Birds become quieter while crickets begin singing all around the campsite. When darkness arrives, thousands of stars appear above me. In the city, I rarely see so many stars. Here, the night sky looks endless. I spend nearly an hour simply looking upward. Just before going to bed, I notice a bright shooting star crossing the sky. It lasts only a second, but it makes me smile. Around 10:30, I crawl into my sleeping bag. The forest is full of gentle sounds. I hear leaves moving in the wind, insects singing, and an owl calling somewhere in the distance. It takes only a few minutes before I fall asleep. The next morning, I wake up naturally, just after 7. Soft sunlight shines through the fabric of my tent. I unzip the entrance and breathe in the cool morning air. The campsite is peaceful. A few campers are already awake, quietly preparing breakfast, while many others are still sleeping. I heat water on my camping stove and prepare a hot cup of coffee. Then I cook scrambled eggs with bacon and toast a few slices of bread. It may not be a fancy breakfast, but everything tastes better outdoors. While I am eating, a curious squirrel suddenly appears near my table. It watches me carefully, hoping I might drop a piece of food. I laugh, but I keep my breakfast on the table. After waiting for a moment, the squirrel quickly disappears back into the trees. After cleaning everything, I pack a small backpack with water, fruit, sandwiches, and my camera. Today, I want to explore the nearby hiking trails. The forest path begins only a few hundred meters from the campsite. Tall trees provide welcome shade as I walk deeper into the woods. Sunlight shines through the branches, creating beautiful patterns on the ground. The air smells of pine trees, damp earth and wildflowers. I can hear birds singing in every direction. After about 30 minutes, I reach a small wooden bridge crossing a clear stream. The water flows gently over smooth rocks. I stop for a few minutes to enjoy the peaceful sound. Farther along the trail, I discover a hidden waterfall. It is not very large, but the water falls into a crystal-clear pool surrounded by moss-covered rocks. I sit nearby for a while, simply listening to the water. As I continue hiking, I suddenly stop walking. About 50 meters ahead, a deer quietly steps out from behind the trees. It looks around carefully before continuing deeper into the forest. I remain completely still. Watching such a beautiful wild animal feels like a special gift. Around noon, I arrive at a small lake. The water is perfectly calm, reflecting the surrounding trees like a mirror. There is a small rental cabin beside the lake, so I decide to rent a canoe for 1 hour. Paddling across the lake is surprisingly relaxing. The only sounds are the paddle touching the water and birds flying overhead. I even notice several fish swimming beneath the canoe. Near the opposite shore, a family of ducks swims peacefully through the reeds. Tiny ducklings follow their mother in a perfectly straight line. When my hour is over, I return the canoe and find a picnic table beneath a large oak tree. I enjoy my sandwiches, an apple, and a bottle of cold water while watching dragonflies flying above the lake. After lunch, I slowly hike back toward the campsite using a different trail. This path climbs to a small viewpoint overlooking the valley. The view is breathtaking. Rolling green hills stretch toward the horizon, and the campsite looks tiny from above. Back at my campsite, I lie down in my hammock with a good book. A gentle breeze moves through the trees, making the afternoon feel pleasantly cool. After reading for about an hour, I close my eyes for a short nap. When I wake up, the sky has changed. Dark grey clouds are slowly moving across the valley. I remember the weather forecast predicting possible rain. A few minutes later, small raindrops begin falling. Around the campsite, everyone quickly starts putting away towels, chairs, and food. I cover my barbecue and move my backpack inside the tent. Fortunately, the rain lasts only about 15 minutes. Soon the clouds begin to disappear and sunlight returns. Water drops sparkle on the leaves, and a beautiful rainbow appears above the forest. Many campers stop what they are doing to admire it. The fresh air after the rain feels wonderful. As evening approaches, I prepare dinner. Tonight, I cook pasta with grilled vegetables and cheese. The meal is simple but satisfying after such an active day. Nearby, someone quietly plays an acoustic guitar. The music mixes with the sounds of nature, creating a peaceful atmosphere without disturbing anyone. After dinner, I roast marshmallows over the glowing coals. They become golden on the outside and soft inside. It reminds me of childhood camping trips. The second night feels even more relaxing than the first. I already know every path around my campsite, and everything feels familiar. Before going to bed, I take one final walk beneath the stars. Fireflies blink softly among the bushes, creating tiny flashes of light in the darkness. Sunday morning arrives sooner than I expected. I prepare one last breakfast, this time with oatmeal, banana slices, and hot coffee. While eating, I think about how quickly the weekend has passed. Packing takes longer than setting everything up. I carefully fold the tent, roll up my sleeping bag, clean my cooking equipment, and check the ground one last time. I always believe campers should leave nature exactly as they found it. Before leaving, I walk around my pitch to make sure I have not forgotten anything and that there is no litter. On the drive home, I stop in a small village famous for its bakery. I buy a fresh apple pie and another coffee before continuing my journey. The roads are quiet on Sunday morning. As I drive through the countryside, I replay the weekend in my mind. The peaceful forest, the calm lake, the deer, the waterfall, the rainbow, and the beautiful night sky. When I finally arrive home, I unpack the car and spread my tent outside to dry completely before storing it away. That evening, I sit on my sofa with a cup of tea and look through the photos I took during the weekend. Each picture reminds me of a peaceful moment in nature. Camping always helps me slow down. For a few days, I forget about emails, traffic, and busy schedules. I sleep better, breathe fresh air, and remember how enjoyable simple things can be. Before going to bed, I check my calendar. There is another long weekend next month. I smile. Maybe it is already time to plan my next camping trip.